Hi all, welcome to another chess24 Banter Blitz. It's 11:30 and let's have a look first at the discount code screen. So you can get a whopping 15% off if you use the voucher code Kingscrusher. So you can challenge me or other streamers, including grandmasters, world-class players. So you just turn up 10 to 15 minutes beforehand, send your challenge, it goes into our challenge lists, and let me just sort that one out. And yeah, that is great. There's tons of other perks, so check that out, the voucher code Kingscrusher. So let's go to the challenges now, and I hope the audio is okay. I'll mute over there and play. So the first challenge today, Fuchs Rudel. Okay. Let me know about audio and visual. Okay, let's play English opening. That's served me well recently. English opening. Nothing too radical here. So, knight f6. So, bringing up both knights. That's interesting. No pawn move yet. And b6. Okay, let's play e4. Hang on, my ping's a bit. Let's bring this a bit down. Pardon me. It's a bit higher than usual. Okay, knight ge2, I think. d3. So I'm trying to, yeah, I think it's a sort of bind on d5 at the moment, and h3 just trying to prevent any knight g4 in the future. Oh, that d4 control, I think I can gain control over d4 a little bit, stop knight d4. And I wonder now, king h2, this is one of my favorites, king h2, f4, f5. So I'm going to go for f5. If I can get that pawn wedge there, then I'd hopefully continue with g4, knight g3. That's a kind of standard plan. Okay, that's forced me to do something else now. I was looking forward to that f5, but now, yeah, it's rather different. Because actually that e5 square, that was quite a good move, because that e5 square is available to black now, so this creates some controversy now around f5. It didn't before. With the pawn on e5 I was pretty happy to play f5, but now a lot more caution needed. I think knight h5 might be on the cards here, so I'm going to stop knight h5. Alright, so can I actually play queen d2, the sort of unpin for f5? Still running into things like knight e5 and maybe even knight g4 check. If the queen was on e3, you can imagine if there was a knight there and a knight there, that'd be knight g4. Okay, I think I can take that. Yeah, I was playing against that. Let's see. Can't take that. I can maybe swing a rook in. So f5 again. The dark square weaknesses. Is there a way of using the rooks, like rook f2, knight d4, rook g3, knight c2? Is annoying. This knight d4 to knight c2 is kind of annoying. Possibly rook f2 then, knight d4. I'm keeping c2 covered. I can still maybe double rooks with rook f2. It still has an element of doubling rooks without the c2 being compromised. So I'm thinking rook f2. Now here, let's say rook ag1. Okay, where's that knight going? I think I can still play rook ag1. So I want to try and double the rooks. So something like bishop f1, rook fg2. I'm hoping it's still possible. I'm wondering if f5, what happens? On knight e5, f6 looks rather good. On bishop e5 check, that leaves the knight pinned. So it looks as though f5 is pinning possible. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I'm thinking f5. But just check this again. f5, bishop e5 check, king h1. There's no use of f4, I think so. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, that's interesting. How about d4 though, to sort of unpin that f5 pawn? If I played d4 and if rook a5, b4, rook a3, I suppose it gets a bit funny. The rook doesn't look too happy over there though, so I think I'm going to go with this. Maybe, in fact, if the rook's on a5, I'm thinking knight d5 now instead of b4. Knight d5, let's say c6. C6. Yes. I think knight d5 anyway. I'll do it anyway. c6 is possible. Maybe knight f4. Maybe I can be content with just the g7 being pinned. If c6, knight f4, knight takes, that's fine. I mean, I think if I get that pin on g7, so c6, knight f4, that should be okay. So now there's knight f6 check, because that pinned piece, the power of the pinned piece is illusionary. Now there isn't queen h7 though, because the knight's protecting that. Alright, thanks for the game, Hooks Riddle. Okay. Rakesh. Let me see. So, Rakesh. So knight c3, this is like Vienna game territory. Now bishop c5 I think runs into knight takes e5. Can I play d5 here? I'm hoping d5 is possible. Can I play cd? No, I'm thinking, okay, that's good. Okay. So queen d4. Alright, let me play knight f5 though. No? I thought queen d4 might have been worth playing. I can still safeguard d4 here with queen h4. Now if f4 moves, there's knight g3. So I'm safeguarding d4. that weakens the light squares. For the moment, I think queen h3 for the moment. There is queen d4 though. Okay, yeah, that to me looks a bit dodgy because of the possibility of bishop e4 at some point. Maybe if, okay, bishop g4, for example, it might be another way of playing it. So with the idea of bishop f3 then at some point. Bishop h3 now threatened. I'm wondering if rook e1 is played. If rook e1 is played, but with this one, then there's bishop f3 actually. Right, there's still bishop h3 here. If queen f3 out, my queen's protected by the g6 pawn, so I think I'm winning the exchange actually. That runs, yeah, that little skewer thing might be just worth winning the exchange. I can just double the rooks. I think queen d4. Okay, there's a7 as an issue. I've got to be wary about a7. Okay, so I'm doubling the rooks. Maybe there's rook e2 incoming. At the moment, rook e2, there's like rook f2. Alright, so c5 here, queen e5, the knight's kind of overloaded, so rook e2 is possible because that'll drop the queen if knight takes. There's still rook f2 there. Rook f2, queen h3, if king g1, rook, queen takes h3, if knight takes, rook takes. If rook f2 then there's queen takes g3. So, I mean, c5 might be possible to push through with d4. It's just is it worth it? That rook f. Let's just check this again. c5, queen d5, rook e2, rook f2, rook f2, king f2, queen h3 is sort of dangerous, but I mean there might be another way of playing this. What about I can just put pressure on the position with queen f5. Maybe this is like a little bit safer, just to put some pressure at the moment. C2's dropped anyway. Okay, the queen hasn't got that many squares. Queen c1. And go to e3 after. So let's see. If f5, that looks a little bit scary, but queen e3. I think queen e3 around here. So let's see. Queen takes. There's no queen takes. Maybe d4's now on the cards. d4 is on the cards without having to do some wild exchange sacrifice. Okay, I think I'm safeguarded here. I can take this knight because f7's safe enough, I believe. Let's take the d h pawn. Okay, so play check. I'm going to play c takes, I think. I'll play a check again. Or c2. c2 looks good, driving the pawn forward one square. Alright, thanks for the game. Okay, interesting game there. Okay, KT, are we? Let's see. So this structure, the d5, is a little bit more compromised than usual. And what happens now? I'm keeping this bishop in view. So let's see if I can play h3 and castle. And probably, you know, rook ab1 is a plan for a3 and b4, but d5 is evident that might be played. Maybe I keep a lock on d5 for the moment, because I suspect if I played something like a3, I think d5 looks as though it's equalizing, because I'll have a backward d3 pawn issue potentially. I think this might be the way to play it anyway, to keep that lock on d5 from black. It's kind of liberating. So I've had a whole new enthusiasm recently for the pawn structure because of this neural network chess and liberation of pieces. Keeping the pieces locked in or liberated is very, very important in chess, to check out that pawn chain, how it contains the opponent's pieces, how your pieces get liberated. So yeah, at the moment, okay, so d5 has been cemented with a pawn. Could I play for f5? F5 with the pawn on e5, as 2 games ago showed. Well, in my analysis, I really like a pawn on e5 to remain there when I play f5, so that there's no sort of pivot use of e5 for my king. So yeah, I'm thinking, you know, we're back to that story potentially. Okay, here there's a pawn on e5 which contains the bishop. So in a way, I like that containment rather than taking. But okay, there was a perk on that other game with the g file. But okay, let's just check tactically. f5 looks okay tactically. There's no queen infiltration. It looks as though I might be playing g4. So yeah, I'm happy that there's a pawn, you know, kind of containing the bishop. I think the neural networks are taking containment to extremes, basically imprisonment. Even if stockfish pieces, imprisonment becomes the strategy of the pawn structure, as far as these advanced like neural network chess games, which have been amazing to check out recently. So yeah, imprisonment of pieces. But okay, knight takes g4, h takes queen h4 is a tactic, but bishop h3 seems as though there's no follow-up. So I'm hoping I can get away with this. d5 looks a bit vulnerable. If there was more pressure on d5, okay, now yeah, I can see that the g5 square could be fun for black. Knight h7 as a sort of blockade on the dark squares. Otherwise, there's a squish strategy for h4 g5. h4 knight h7 hits h4. There is potentially g5 here. Or is there's knight g4 picking up the bishop? Oh, there's queen g4. So yeah, then there's knight h5. Okay, what do I do over here as well? Well, that's interesting over here. I'm not really sure what's going on over here. Should I just take this? So that sort of undoubles the pawns. g5 looks as though it's tactically feasible because knight g4, queen g4 protects the bishop. Is it desirable? h4, knight h7 as an alternative. g5, hg, knight g5. Is there anything there? I might play this anyway. It looks more squishy actually than g5. I'm weakening that h4 pawn though. Okay. G5 looks as though it's a move crying out to be made as a pawn sacrifice. To get this attack going with queen h5, safeguarding h4 from black queen. So there's dark square blockade resistance, I suppose you could call it. Knight h7, knight e4. If I like, okay, played this for bishop c3. This is a flexible idea. For rook b8, bishop c3, there's potentially some play on the b file. Okay, so maybe I use a bit of time for that. Well, I've left the g5 knight. There's also queen e8. But what I want to do here is use the rooks. I'm thinking rook h1, king g1. Now queen e8, queen g4. Let's stop this play over here. Rook h1, king g1. Oh, it's going to be tricky. Okay. Okay, maybe I need to move that and cover e3 as well. I'm wondering if knight e4, that's a key piece holding back any attack prospects. So knight e4 here looks sensible now anyway. So that holds the f2 square as well. So I really want to play, I think, bishop f3 and rook g1. If I played rook g1, because I want to keep the bishop contained by the pawn on f6. If queen e8, yeah, that's tricky. If I took this knight f3, what about queen g4? If I played rook g3 here, this gives some flexibility for doubling the rooks. Okay. So there's a pin piece here. I want to keep the pin, but play queen h8. I'm looking at some forcing moves like queen f7. It's not quite working at the moment. Can I play for queen g7? That picks up a lot of pieces for the queen. 3 pieces for the queen. Queen g7. Check, take this guy. That looks like a lot of pieces to get. So it's still on the cards here. I think I'm going for it. The queen doesn't seem that dangerous. In fact, there's rook h8 here now. All right, thanks for the game. Yeah, that was interesting. The mechanic. I think that was a bit inspired by some Leela games, because she manages to sort of press without giving dark square blockade potential. So it's like having the cake and eating it, so to speak. Well, if you're into cakes, especially. I try not to be sugar, but yeah, maybe that's a bad expression. So anyway, yeah, the dark square blockade potential is you have to factor that in when trying to squish on the king side. But yeah, I've seen some neural network games recently, sort of case studies, examples. So that's sometimes pretty cool. Okay, so can I just make sure f4 is not played? c5 remains a break for me. Is that going to be stopped? No. With that, I don't want necessarily the bishops coming off. Black's centre seems more fragile, the bishop on h6. Doesn't that give me the e6 square to play with? There's also c5 to think about and castling queenside. I like the idea of castling queenside. Maybe king b1, rook c1. There seems to be, black's position looks to be a little bit on the wholesome side at the moment. On the other hand, the f5 square could be good for black on taking. I'm wondering that f5 square. So let's say black castled and I play king b1. I want to featuring, I think a feature is this c5 pawn break. So if I can maximize that with rook c1, I'm thinking c5 cd. Okay, that does give knight f5. That's a bit of a pain. But there's knight g6 at the moment. So maybe I'll just carry on for a moment. Allow knight f5 to happen. There's knight g6 in any case. So these rooks at the moment, I could improve the rooks. I'm wondering c5. So let's say black castles kingside. DC looks, I think that's a bit dicey because I think I just support d5. Okay, I'm 2 pawns down. On the other hand, there's a lot of pressure there and the king's still in the center. So I'm going to play like this. Is it really the case b6 will happen? Maybe it does. Okay, no, so I just take on c5, getting 1 pawn back. Okay, so g5 up. Bishop takes doesn't do me any favours. Knight e2, I wonder if d5 is just taken. Maybe I need to play bishop takes e7 just to make sure d5 is not a major liability. If takes, there's bishop g5. This could be possible to play. Maybe I should be playing it. g4, knight f4, g takes, another pawn's dropped. It's a little bit annoying. There's bishop e7, queen e7, queen d4, g takes, queen a7. That looks like something for queen d4. G takes, queen a7, they're free. No, it's not check anyway. The king's on b1. Sorry, queen d4, g takes, queen a7. And if he takes that, there's king d7 now. Okay, so what about knight? Go with knight e2 here. If g4, maybe back to f4. E3 seems to win my queen. Whoops. There. Yeah, that was a mistake. And a half. No panic. I've only just blundered the queen. Oh man. I just blundered the queen. Okay, this will be fun. Can't do anything from here. Try and coordinate these guys. Try and get a form pawn. Alright, so it's an interesting exercise in trying to generate some counterplay after losing the queen. So try and create a form pawn which is like an attacking piece, sometimes around the king, if you can get a form pawn. It also means knight d4 to c6 is a fork. If I can puncture the c6 square. So knight b5, there's knight d5 though. There's bishop d5 and knight c7. Can I just do rook d1 just with the idea of knight d4 though? That looks like a safer route to c6. I have e2, rook e2. So I'm threatening knight c6. Alright, so knight b5. Try and win an exchange. Because knight c6, oh. Okay, I'll win this exchange. I'm winning a rook or the a7 pawn. I think the a7 pawn might be more important for that a7 to tie a whole rook down with a7. Let's take this. I think if I drill down the e file, rook e7 is dangerous. What about rook h1? Actually, it's not going anywhere because of that pawn rook h1. Oh, okay, there's no f7 entry point. Bishop g7, I suppose there's queen e1, queen a5. Rook e2. What the black plan rook e2? Is rook... Actually, I don't know. Hang on, c7 is still a target. Hang on. Rook d1, c7's a vague target. Because of e2, but it's only got like 10 seconds now. C7 is still a target now. Okay. This is not the right move, is it? Yeah, okay. Oh. Yeah. Well played, yeah. I lost the queen from a difficult position. I think I was losing when I lost the queen, actually. It looked as though I think I overplayed the pawn sacks. I'm starting to overplay the pawn sacrifices. Let's have a look. I suspect it was a losing position. Let's have a quick look. Oh, white was okay here. Black's much better after c5. In fact, it gives bishop takes f4 as winning for some reason. I'll just... d5 is dropping or something. Let's just run with that. Yeah, I've just blundered. That's well played, yes. I thought I wasn't... I don't think I was tactically with it this morning. I just don't think I've been tactically with it. These games. Yeah. So that was a devastating tactic. And I should stop messing around with these things and try and get it fixed at some point. Okay. I just keep steaming up here. I think I've got the heating too much. Keep steaming up. This is the problem. Okay. Can I try and wake up a bit tactically? Oh yeah, we'll play though. Oh, okay, let's just leave it. I'll play in it like in a sauna. No, okay. Mr. Bean streams chess. Yeah, Mr. Bean. Okay. Okay. I'm Mr. Bean. Yeah. By the way, to be clear. Yeah. Oh dear. Ron Atkinson is very funny. He's a very funny guy. just have some major issues today. Oh dear. Okay, some major issues. Can I play knight f8? Bishop e6? I just can't play through fog. Please, just a little improvement. Just a little improvement. Okay. Bishop e6 is still, I don't know, is it actually possible to play bishop e6? Okay. e5 is an issue. Can I do this without everything dropping off? I think my microfiber has reached capacity. I think I might need, actually I do have, I bought these separate microfibers from Amazon. You know what, I think it's time to unlock the power of a brand new a brand new microfiber. Yeah, you can get them from Amazon. They're ideal for cleaning glasses. Yeah, I should use them sometimes. I should use them sometimes. Okay, I'm going to try this brand new, unclogged microfiber. Please give me some visibility. Right, it's a great thing, microfiber. Yes, I can see a little bit more. I can see a little bit more through them. Okay. H6 microfiber might be saving the day here. The thing is, yeah, it gets clogged. Okay, there's knight b6 or bishop b6. This looks like a nasty position now. Can I play? Is it radical to play? Oh, crikey. b5, is that too radical? Oh, crikey, knight b6. Oh, I'm going to try it. I'm weakening a few squares, yeah. A takes, C takes. Okay, knight d6 is also a pain. That's on f7 immediately. So great, I'm losing a pawn now. I could lose the exchange instead. Is that a lesser evil? Bishop e6. Just lose the exchange instead. Probably. I'll lose the exchange instead. I guess he's going for the exchange rather than this pawn. If I can reroute a knight to f4 later anyway, there might be some compensation. So knight takes, rook takes. I'm hoping for some compensation. Because it was on f7 anyway. It was also on b5. But it did. I played b5 because it didn't look right. That is getting into b6 here, controlling the d file at d8. So I'm trying to sort of create some practical chances again. If I can get a knight to f4, I might be happier. Okay, a knight f4 here. Is there what? Bishop d6 torture now? Oh, e5, is that dropping? Alright, what about bishop g4? I thought maybe... Oh, there's no rook g6 at the moment. I'm wondering about the other knight going to e6. Potentially there's rook g6. At the moment the f7 pawn's pinned. I thought bishop d6 was hitting e5 as when I was hitting my queen. I thought that looked pretty convincing. Maybe I've been a little bit let off with rook d6. So, oh, that looks dodgy, leaving a knight on f4. I can go around here. That looks very dodgy to leave the knight on f4 there, with the double pawns. I might be back in the game here, from a technical perspective. There's queen g1 to pick up the rook. This rook's a liability in its own right. Any attacking pieces are also liabilities in their own right, tactically. Oh, there was knight d3 picking up the bishop. I missed that. I've got it here. Alright, yeah, it just collapsed there, didn't it? But you were winning, yeah. I mean, we could have a look to just say bishop e5. I believe I was worse already here after bishop e3. That's a bad move. So bishop g4 apparently is what I should have played. Immediately allow bishop e6. It looks nasty, but maybe. Okay, but what happened in the game continuation, I'm pretty sure there's bishop. Huh? Why isn't there bishop d6 here? White's much better there, yeah? Is white winning e5? No, there's a tactic, right? Okay, there's that tactic. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought, but it's bad. Okay, well played. Oh, this gives me... I love the dark square play here. The dark square play is delicious, I find. So bishop d7, b5, b4. Okay, I'll move this rook out, it's a danger. So b5, b4. Okay, it's given me a knight swinging to c5 potentially. It's a great post c5 here. If I can play knight c5, b4, I'll be happy with the sort of attack potential of a5, a4, b3. So knight c5 is a juicy knight. Once those dark square bishops exchanged off there, okay, can I afford... Can I just put the knight on f8 for a moment? Just trying to keep things closed. h6, g6. So I play knight c5, b4, a5. Okay, this... Which attack is quicker? I think I'm going to be playing takes and... Or do I play g6? Could be that g6 is safer. Because any takes I can take with the f-pawn and control h7 from afar with rook e7 as well as the knight on f8. So I'm wanting to keep things close because otherwise, if I played a5 here, I'm thinking g6, it opens up too many lines. fg, hg, there's a possibility of a rook sack. So if I don't want that rook sack, I don't want the rook sack potential. g6 looks safer actually overall for avoiding potential rook sack, and it still seems as though you know hg, fg, I don't see the problem immediately. Okay, a knight can probably go to f6 as a long-term plan, like knight here to here to here. Okay, but and see what I'm doing over this side now. So a4, queen b8, b3. I'm going to try for b3 myself. Just try and open up some lines. Right, so I'm going to take with this, I believe, because it gives me rook e7. Also, maybe sometimes rook f7 is useful. As you can play for f4, f5 there, that would be dangerous. Okay, advance. Try and open up the lines rather than have them closed. Rook f7. Just stopping f4, f5 plan for a moment. Now, there's a lot of defensive energy here and not much attacking energy. I can't increase the attacking energy at the moment. That's one problem though. Yeah. I wonder if just leave a form pawn with a3. Yeah, I'm going to just, paradoxically, I'm going to close up. I think I'm closing up here. I'll just leave a form pawn, closing up. Because I'm thinking actually now, the backward f pawn might be the salient feature to pick on. Queen e7, I can put all the resources into this backward f pawn. Any use of f4 I can take and get the e5 square, and that pawn there, that form pawn might be useful later if I can put pressure on the diagonal. So if I go around like this, there's a liability of course a3 in the endgame sometimes, or knight b5. Alright, knight b5 is hitting c7 as well. But again, he'll be, okay, opening up his king. Okay, knight b6 here, maybe, or knight f8. I think knight b6. I might be having to sack a3 for some pressure of some sort. It's not convincing to double rooks and lose a3. Unless there's rook f4 hitting g5. Is that plausible? Rook f8, rook f4, queen g5. Queen d7. What's this knight doing if I do this? Does he actually use the other knight to support it? If he uses the other knight, I get back that f4 square. Okay. So he is doing that. I'm wondering, I'm going to give him the a3 pawn. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. Not at this time control anyway. Maybe I should take that. I'm not sure. It's giving me f1 access. So knight takes a3, I guess. But there's queen f1 now. The other problem with white's position is the e5 square. I think I just get a lock on e5 here. Although, was that the right knight to use? Alright, I'll be annoying with this check. There's knight d3 of queen c2, there's queen e1. Knight d3 looks like a crunching move. There's queen, there was almost queen b2. Okay, almost. I'm threatening now knight c4 and queen b2. Either knight supporting the queen. Yeah, that forcing me looked quite powerful for b2. I think the form pawn, okay, although it was lost, it left some dark square weaknesses behind in provoking b3. But it's a little bit random, yeah, it's all a bit random. Okay, thanks for the game. Okay, Friedel. Yeah, I'm trying to stop b5 to try and discourage b5. Form pawn, yeah, is one of my it's a terminology I think I've actually popularized for neural networks recently. I've seen a lot of people take it up on TSEC chat, etc. So form pawns, those pawns like on h6, whatever, f6. But yeah, it was eliminated there, which didn't seem that happy for it to be eliminated. Can I play e5 if it takes f5, f5, ef, gf? Is that just losing? If I take first on b5, then play e5, then f5. That blunts the bishop anyway. Alright, so that's unexpected in a way. I want to support e5, I think. Or play g5, just lock down, I think. This gives me an f6 maneuver. Knight h2, f2, g4, f6, form pawn on f6. I was once so impressed by this game of Plaskett with black. He did this maneuver. It just really, I found it impressive. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try this Plaskett knight maneuver. Do I get the form pawn? Guard c2. I want to get the queen to the h file. It's got nice blockade potential. If I can get rid of the blockades that have been reinforced in the position. Alright, so queen g4. There's always knight going back to f5. So is that h4, h5, hg? I'll get this a rook to the h file. h5, hg. It seems, I don't know, queen g4 is knight f5. That's what I'm wondering. Okay, can't do it another way. Oh, there's bishop a4 there for bishop c2. That's nasty. Okay, let's just take that off. This is good in a way because queen g4, knight f5. I've always got h3 now for hg, queen h3, queen g4 to h3. Fg weakens e6 a bit. Right, is he going to use this pin on my c1 bishop? It's not totally pinned. I can move that bishop. Queen h3 or queen h4. Queen h3 keeps an eye on e6. Queen h3 keeps an eye on e6. Okay. So I'm protecting d3 as well. Right, so if I take with the e pawn or g pawn, I think the e pawn, I want to play f5 and bishop going to e5 letter. Probably. Bishop e4, d, queen h6 threatens queen g7, queen f8. Is he gonna like entertain moving the knight or something? Because queen h6 looks winning. Queen c7, queen f8, queen b8, queen g7. If he doesn't, okay, I'll lose the rook there. E takes. No, I'm just losing the rook. That's going to be too slow, isn't it? Bishop e4. Bishop e4 is too slow. There's another way. Queen a3 over here to a8 with this form pawn covering g7. If I exchange off a pair of rocks, bishop d2, takes d4, I dare. Queen a3. There'll be that diagonal as well from a3 to f8. That's interesting. Okay, I might go with that. Well, then the c4 is on queen f2. Okay, I'm losing on time as well. Okay, tricky. Tricky. Okay, I'll try something like that. f2 is a problem. Maybe there's bishop e1. He plays c4. Alright, is he going to play c4? d4 for queen a3. d4, knight e4, queen h6. cd, queen a3 for queen f8, queen, not queen a8. He plays c4, he's on queen f2. Right, so I play this here. So I did queen a3 for queen f8. All right. Okay, can I pin? We'll take. Oh, this is tricky. What about? Oh, this is tricky. Knight d4, bishop c3. I can get this bishop in the game somewhere. Bishop c5. Open up this bishop. Queen queen e5 idea. There's d4. There's still queen e5, queen f6, queen f8. d3, queen e5, queen f6 idea, queen f8. Oh. No, I'm bailing out. Okay, it's just pre-move madness now. Okay, I'm losing. I'm losing. I've got nothing. Yeah, I think he just killed my attack, basically. No, he killed my attack, yeah. There was... let's have a quick look. Yeah, I had to, because I felt my king was too weak. There was a move that really killed the attack here. Well, it says white's much better. Did I miss something? I missed something. Bishop c5. No, I think it's equal. So bishop c3. Okay, that's bad. Bishop e5. Bishop c4 there. This, if I want to keep equality, this looks dangerous for f7. Okay, the pawns are not that mobile. There's a pin. This is what I did was not good. This is not good. I just thought I was opening up the bishop, but maybe so. Bishop e5 keeps the pawns still at the moment because d4, bishop takes c4. I'm making things worse. This is a really great move, queen d4. So if d2, I think like it's a mate in 2. That was a great move. Queen d4 in time pressure. Great move. And I thought if I go here, then there's bishop d7. Black looks as though d2's being, although maybe it's not. It has bishop c5 apparently. So I'm holding both f2 and f4. Well, now black's better. Black's better. Oh, it's tricky. Blimey. Well played. Queen d4, great move. No panic now with queen d4. So this is a cricket, city mid off, city mid on. Someone got hit in the head with a cricket ball there. Yeah, okay, maybe. F4, F5. Okay, this gives me the idea. Knight g3, d4, e5 looks tempting to try and squish squish on the dark squares if possible. Okay, cd for e5. If the knight moves, then there's knight takes d5. d4 after. Or try and win the exchange. I don't like the idea necessarily of winning the exchange with knight f6, because the bishop is a really important defensive piece in Blitz around the king. So I'm wondering if I just have knight d5, then take it easy after that with d4. The central pawns guided by the bishop are pretty good, surely. So if the knight moves, knight takes d5, the queen moves d4, and just try and use the centre pawns, unless the rook is given as an easy target here. Queen b7, knight f6 wins the queen. Queen b7, queen d7. I don't want to try knight f6 necessarily, so I'm going to try d4. Although I'm just thinking there's something less controversial, maybe knight takes b6, and a takes, bishop takes, and bishop b7, queen b7, queen f3 to parry the light squares. This might be plausible, knight b6. Well, now I can protect the knight. Knight f6 is now threatened for queen d7. Oh, there's knight f6 protecting the queen. But even so, queen d7, bishop b7. So I think knight f6 simplifies anyway. Rook d8. Rook d8 protects the queen. Yeah. Okay. I don't need to be that greedy here, I believe. I give the piece back. Take a pawn there. Yeah, I'm just going to give the piece back. I'd sympathise. This bishop's locked in anyway a bit for the moment. Take another pawn, or that's the rook d2 time. So I think rook f2 first. This is really worth it to take that pawn. No, I think rook f2. The rook might be useful behind this a pawn. Okay, can I b3? Centralize knight e4. I think centralize. Then king goes to f3. Swap off another piece, or use the c file. Maybe c file. To rook d2, I'll try and stop the activity for a bit of the black pieces. Oh, there's knight d5 here, hold on. Fulks e7, e3. Right. With the central knight, I think knight d4, bring the king up to d5. Knight f5. It gives me rook d6 now, threatening rook d8. Okay, well played. Thanks so much. Thanks for the game. Okay. A pinnacle. I don't mind necessarily the thing there. Let's see, is d5 the idea? So d5, okay, I'm going to play d3 sometimes. Interesting. Is he playing d5 or bishop takes c3 and then d5? Nope. It looks as though king h2, f4 is plausible again. and get some dark square play. Takes d5, e5. Is it worth it? Do I need to do this? I wonder if I can keep things locked up, sort of contained instead. Is there any advantage in playing f4? I'm confused a bit. Okay, f4, is that really worth it? Okay, I'll see. I'll see if it's worth it. I think I want to take the g pawn. At least I'll get that g file. Isn't like tactics like knight g4 coming in, hg, queen h4, bishop h3. I'm thinking about knight g4, hg, check, bishop h3. Alright, I'll take here for a moment, then e5. That leaves that a bit weaker by taking that first. I probably want to play bishop f3, probably. It cuts out any knight g4 tactics. Oh, like h3, yeah, queen d7 is on h3. There's queen g2, interesting. Okay, can I get a central bishop? That e4, he's blunted the bishop. Can I get a central bishop? Okay, that looks interesting. There's queen g2 and rook g1. Queen d7, queen g2 protects h3. I have to do that sort of thing anyway. So I want to play like rook g1, bishop d2 to e1. I'll drop f4. What about bishop d2 to e1 first? Whilst f4 is protected. Bishop d2 to e1. Right, there is a check here. Is that any use? If bishop e6, maybe bishop e7. So it's a sort of tempo, maybe. Actually, he's blocked h3. He's blocked his access to h3. There is bishop. Okay, bishop d2 now. Just for bishop e1. Do I need to do that now? Well, maybe there's rook. There's rook f3, there's bishop e6. Rook f2, bishop e6, bishop f3. Alright, I think I like the idea of trying to... What's wrong with rook g1 straight off the bat anyway? I might need to treble. Okay, I might need to treble. Alright, with trebling in mind, rook g1. Bishop e6, rook g1, rook g3. With trebling in mind. Alright, start the process of g7. There's, okay, bishop e6, rook g3, bishop d5, queen d5. Okay, so now he's weakened some dark squares. There's rook g5 handy here. Idea bishop e1, h4, h5. Okay, d4 is a bit weak. it's f4 is a bit weak. If I just take on d4, bishop c5. What about e6? We'll just play e6. It's not too loosening. Okay. Alright, because queen comes back for f4. That's f4 for a moment. Protect b2. Well, he's simplifying. I've got b7 in my sights. Let's just see if I can threaten queen b7 without dropping f4. Right, can I threaten queen d4? I suppose there's a bit of play, I suppose, but I'm not really convinced. Bishop c5, okay, there's e6 here. Queen d7? What is he playing on queen d7? Again, I can't see a checkmate. Although I suppose my king's in a little bit of bother. Okay, let's see this final position. It's queen d1, queen f7, and queen f8 is mate. I'm not sure there's time in the final position to play queen d1. Yeah, white mate. I think this is just the mate here, isn't it? I think around about here. I thought I was better here. It looks as though I was better there. Oh, rook g1 apparently is really good here. If that. Okay, it looks as though I might have been better actually. Might have been. There's queen b7 as well. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a check as well as queen d7 here. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks for the game. So a tango. I like the dark squares here. I'd rather black take so I can get the f4 square again. He could actually literally force me to play bishop takes e3, which he's doing. Okay. What about the c5 square though? c5 might be the sort of equivalent in a way positionally to f4. If I can get that c5 square for a knight. Right, so probably go in there now to c5. Corresponding light square f5 for white. Sometimes, not at the moment. It's difficult to use f5 at the moment. If I undoubled white's pawns with f5, that might create some dark square weaknesses if it plays e4 later. Otherwise there's a kind of bind. I think I'm tempted to undouble, because I don't like this bind. Okay, so it's kind of weakened f4. That's what I was hoping for by undoubling. So now knight f4. Which gives me g5, g4. And so knight f4 threatens knight e2 anyway, immediately. Actually, there's also rook f6 to g6. This might be quicker. I don't need to necessarily use the pawns. Okay, so g5 here, I'll be giving him the e4 square. If I took, there's that e4 square. That's a bit of a nuisance. I like to keep the knight out of, I don't want to put the king there either. There might be some sort of sack. Mind you, it's not concretely possible, is it? So I'm wondering if king h7, knight f5, g6 is possible. Yeah, it's a little bit dodgy looking. Okay. A4 is also, he's tied down to a4. If I doubled, there's also the possibility of knight e2 for f1 or knight h3 for rook f1. If I doubled, so knight h3, rook f1, if the knight wasn't protecting f1. If the bishop moves, I've got knight a4. This is a passed pawn over here, which could be dangerous. But there's also bishop g4, knight h3, if it wasn't for knight on d2. I think maybe I just take on a4 here. Alright. So, can I play g6 here? I'm wondering if knight c5 I'll play knight c5 soon. Right, no sack for g6 just yet. Right, can I distract the knight? If I could distract the knight with knight b3, that'll be knight h3 for rook f1. Knight b3, distract the knight from f1. Then there's knight h3. I wonder if he'll fall for that. It's not so much as a trap as a sort of trying to overload my opponent, I think. On the other hand, I've just noticed g6 is vulnerable. Is this too clever by half? He just plays king h2. G6 is dangerous. I've got Queen H7 if needed, so maybe I might be justified on this occasion. Let's see, Queen G6, King H8, Queen H6, Queen H7. Okay, okay. Don't know. Maybe. Oh, there's Knight G6 though. Have I just gone into a bad rook and pawn ending? Or oh, he's got rook h3. Yeah, it is a kind of bad ending. Oh man, oh, I didn't expect that. Maybe piece down from that stuff. I've got this outside A pawn on the other hand. He's going to keep on checking, isn't he? Until rook f3. I think rook takes f3. That's a lost position. I go up to f4 with rook f3. It's probably winning because of the king, actually. Let's try this. Okay. I think I'm winning because of the king is very aggressive here, tearing his pawns. Okay, that's that, I think. Let's make sure it's a check. Okay, I got a bit lucky there. This tactic was it actually losing? Just out of interest, was it losing? I mean, yeah, probably it was because of the knight down, but not. I think it's too far to allow the king into f4 to do this. I don't think it's working here. Black's winning there. Yeah, black is winning here because of king e3. There's pawn chains going. The knight's kind of useless there. So instead of this plan of the checks, I think just using the extra knight. Okay. Okay, I was lucky this week. Okay, very lucky. Thanks. Some of you had winning positions. Basically, thanks to all those, especially who gave me a chance from your winning positions. Thanks. Yeah, have a nice Sunday. Have a nice Sunday, rest of the week. Okay. See you next week. Thanks so much.